Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Friday, March the 22nd. The year's 2024. Let's talk trading. It's time for the weekly wrap-up with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and different from Walmal's. And once again, I'm telling you, fellow traders, my days have been long and busy, so that's why you're getting videos kind of like every other day or so, because I had to go out of town and drive. So anyway, I'm here today, and it's the let's see, we're completing the third trading week of the month. So just a reminder, risk management. I hope you all have been using your risk management, and that you haven't lost any more than you're willing to lose on any one particular trade. So we take a look at the weekly. Dashboard says all the gaps have filled. We're 129 pips below the weekly open, 31 off the low and 197 off the high. So obviously we have broken out of the previous week's candle. Now if we take a quick look here, this week we broke out of the opening range on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Today we opened outside of the opening range of the week. We are inside the opening range of the month, and we are slightly outside the opening range of the year to the downside. We're 5 pips below that 126, looks like 10 level, and for the month, we could just call that 126 was the low for the previous month, or actually, I'm sorry, the opening range for the month here. Taking a look at the yearly, we are 115 pips now below the yearly open, so we've gone negative for the year now. But we were above the year this month, but now we've gone back below, and looking at this chart, we're in the lower wick zone of the previous month. And if we zoom to the monthly, we can see that once again here. We're below that monthly pivot point. And the inside bar, we had an inside bar 2 months ago. The low was 125.96. We're above that at the moment. And yesterday we broke out of that weekly inside bar from last week, and that was yesterday. And also we broke out of the inside bar yesterday. There was an inside bar 7 days ago. So plenty of inside bar action here, especially on the weekly. We're at 100 pips of range here on the pound. You can see there's lots of pairs over 100 pips of range. And who's leading the pack? The euro, no, the beast, the pound yen's leading the pack at 185 pips. Let's see, we've crisscrossed that daily open. Looks like a couple of times earlier in the Asian session, and you can see we haven't gone anywhere near there. We definitely are down. Green rats had a feast a little while ago. This wasn't a red rat feast because at this point in the day there wasn't enough range, but you can see here the range is large enough. And we came down to S1 for the pivot traders. In fact, I had an email from a pivot, I think he was a pivot trader, who was talking about support and resistance. Maybe it wasn't pivots, but anyway, you can see here we crisscrossed that S1 a couple times. We didn't quite make it to S2. Looks like we may have made it to the midpoint between S1 and S2 and bounced off of that. And you can see here we crossed that monthly open at 126.23. And we're still below it. Speaking of pivots, like I said, we've taken out the month. We took out the weekly pivot. We did not take out today's pivot at 127.03. Whoops, did I miss something here? Let's see, Bambino Flex indicator said short, short near R1, short near the pivot, bias near S1 was long, so that was pretty accurate for the day. Wick zone, in and out of the previous day's lower wick zone. Looking at the smart ranges for the week, 228 pips this week puts us at the 83 percentile, and last week was only 137, was at the 41 percentile. So you can see here, big explosion out of that inside bar. We didn't break out at a high, but we've broken out at a low by 150 pips. For the rats, high minus close, 197. Close minus low, 31 for you green rats. And the weekly open crossover, 68, high minus open, and 160 open minus low. So Walmal, you want to tell the traders about your trading day?
Yeah, not a good day for me, but, you know, we all have losing days. But essentially, I was up probably about 10, 12 pips or something for the day. And I had a bias that this market was going to go and, you know, was going to go back up because it didn't run down. I mean, when I was trading, it was all the way down at the bottom of the chart. And I had a feeling that it was going to go back up, but for whatever reason, I mean, my signals came in to go short, and I went and took 3 signals short in a row and 3 losses in a row, and next thing you know, I hit what I'm allowed to lose for the day, and it just, you know, sometimes that's what happens, you know. Did I do anything wrong? I followed the rules. I executed my method properly. The only thing I did do is I went against what my bias was for the day, but I generally don't take that into concern all that much. I mean, I take it into concern in terms of when to get out of trades, but not necessarily when to get into trades. And sometimes that's just what happens, you know. The market sometimes just doesn't smile on you, and you take a loss. And that's why, you know, what was the first thing you said when you got on this video, you know? And that is what? Manage your risk. And that's what you do. You manage your risk. You know, you take a loss. You know, I had 4 days of wins and one losing day. You know, so it basically that means that, you know, I had 4 days where I made at least 20 pips each day. You know, and then I had 1 day where I went and lost. You know, basically 20 pips. You know, so that means, what does that mean? It means I'm up 60 pips for the week. I really can't complain about that.
Yeah, but you know? you're above your weekly goal, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because my weekly goal is about 15 pips, you know, so per day. You know, so I really can't complain. I mean, it's just part of trading, and I think that we have to go and, you know, sometimes we look at this whole idea of risk management is, you know, sort of like the guy who goes and poo-poos on the parade, you know, and it really isn't. It's what keeps you in the game, and, you know, just recognize for who it is, for what it is, and, you know, in fact, you should be happy about the fact that you had rules in place that prevented you, you know, from taking a bigger loss. Because if I would have stayed in those trades, I could have taken a massive loss, but I didn't. I took 3 losses in a row, and, you know, that's just the way it is. And the funny thing is that I think I was actually on a streak where I won. I think it was 22 or 23 trades in a row without a loss. You know, you do. That's just the way it is. You do. You know, you're gonna take the loss. You know, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just a question of time. You gotta take losses, and that's my big thing for the day. You know, don't get upset by the losses. Get upset if you don't follow the rules. That's what you get upset about. You don't get upset about losses. You get upset about when you don't follow the rules.
So in other words, when you come back next week, you're not changing anything. You're just, right?
There's nothing to change.
Yeah, because I think that's what happens to a lot of traders. They have a losing day, and, oh, shoot, I got to get a new indicator. I got to switch the method. They're just all over the place, as opposed to just saying, you know what? I followed the rules, and today the market did not smile upon me, and I'll come back tomorrow and do it again.
Yeah, exactly right. You know, And I don't care who you are. Sometimes you take losses, and that's just the way it is. If you want to go and take this into the sports arena, the reality is you can have the best team that's out there on the field. I'll give you a perfect example of that. When Georgia was playing, going to go into college football here in the U.S. So sorry, foreigners, but when Georgia played Alabama, the reality is Georgia had a better team on the field. They even played better than Alabama that day, but because of some rulings on the field, and because of some weird things that just happened out on the field, guess what? Alabama won. They didn't deserve the win, but they won. And that's like trading. You go and do everything right, and sometimes you take a loss. Sometimes, whether you like it or not, you take the loss, and that's just part of the deal. And you just live with it, and say, you know what, this tomorrow. And unfortunately for Georgia, they can't say it's this tomorrow. They got to go and say it's next year.
Right.
But that's just part of the deal, and you got to have the right attitude with it. In the beginning, when I was first learning how to go and trade, oh man, would I take it personally? I would, I was liable to go and pick something up and want to throw it at the wall. I wouldn't, because that's not my personality type. But man, I wanted to. But you can't. You can't do that. You got to go and say, okay, but yeah, and what did it do? This all happened before 9 o'clock Eastern time, and so what did I do? I took the next hour, took about 15-20 minutes to just go and take a walk, come back, and then I took the next 45 minutes of the hour to sit down and just verify that I didn't do anything wrong. Make sure I didn't go and mess up, because I don't want to live in delusion. I want to go make sure, I really did do everything right. And when I went back and looked back at the charts, put the trades up on the chart, looked at it and said, yeah, I did. There's nothing I could have done here. I just got beat. Okay, I got beat. Move on.
Yeah.
So, end of the day, went and did some chores, and watched a couple of videos and, waiting for the sun to come out because it's really overcast here. Hoping the sun will come out so I can go outside and just do a little bit of work with my hands and, that type of thing. That's all you can do.
Yeah, and I guess there's another trader that I've been talking to. He gave me a call, and he's a little hesitant getting in the game again. And the thing is, sometimes you're going to win, sometimes you're going to lose. And the thing is, if you're fearful of losing, if you're focusing on that, then it's almost like what you focus on is what you generate.
You're exactly right.
What you manifest.
I love that. I was just going to say, I love what you just said there, because it's so true. If you're focusing on the other team winning, the other team's going to win. And that's the same thing with trading. If all you're focusing on is how much money you can lose, then you got a problem. Now you can't go and have visions of grandeur from the other side, where the only thing you're focusing on is the win. No, you got to go and be someone that's walking down the middle, so that you're going and catching the losers and walking away from them, and holding on to the winners and letting them run for you. So, but you're exactly right. So you got to be someone who's in the middle and doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and it's hard in a sense, because a lot of times, when you read these trading books and watch the videos and stuff, listen to other traders, it's like you focus on the process. Don't worry about the result, worry about the process. But sometimes in life, you really have to focus on the results so you stay focused. And there's a slight difference. Maybe we'll talk about that in another video. But the reason I said that, I was in a meeting yesterday with a bunch of people, and they were talking about bringing more people into the room, and I'm like, why do we need more people? What are we going to miss out if we don't have those voices in the room? And it kind of stunned everybody. But fellow traders, I am going to wish you a fun and safe weekend. And always remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. Rumpled One.